Good morning, everyone from around the world. This is the first day of the 18th International Chopin Piano Competition here in Warsaw, Poland. My name is Rachel NAOMI KUDO, and this is the very first edition of Chopin Talk. And I want to introduce my co-host.
Welcome everybody, I'm Alessandro Tommasi and I will co-host this Chopin Talk with Rachel and our precious guests.
So today our very first guest is the first prize winner of the previous Chopin competition, and he also performed beautifully last night the third Beethoven Concerto, SEONG-JIN CHO. Thank you so much, SEONG-JIN, for being with us.
Thanks for having me.
It was such an amazing performance yesterday. I think the whole hall, we were so entranced by your Beethoven, but also by your two encores. You chose beautiful selections, one from Schumann, the Forest Scenes, and the Chopin Waltz Opus 18, and I thought that was just perfect choices.
Thank you.
We'd like to show SEONG-JIN's interview from March 2016, after he won the coveted first prize of the Chopin competition.
Yeah, I had a lot of good memory in Warsaw during the competition. I can say it was a very special experience, and it reminds me of the competition, and I feel a little nervous being here. I always try to keep fresh. Since the competition, I played so many times, but Chopin's music always feel me very new and still difficult. For instance, I play more than 10 times. I played the Chopin Concerto more than 10 times since the competition, and it feels me new piece still. And I think I need more time to understand 100%. I think I cannot understand 100%, but I always try to understand more deeply. It's a big challenge for me, and I think it never ends.
What has surprised you? Maybe your popularity in Korea, you have become a national star?
I don't think I'm a national star, but yes, it's also
Tak,
surprising.
to też, chociaż nie sądzę, żebym był aż narodową gwiazdą.
To ja mogę od razu skomentować. Rzeczywiście, będąc w Korei, usłyszałem to z wielu ust i to stosunkowo wysoko postawionych, jeśli chodzi o organizację życia muzycznego, że SEONG-JIN CHO stał się bohaterem narodowym i jest wzorcem dla naśladowania przez młode pokolenia, przez młodych ludzi, którzy wręcz poszukują w jego ścieżce kariery i osiągnięciach pewnego wzorca do naśladowania i motywacji do ciężkiej pracy.
I played many concerts since the competition, and few concerts were very satisfied, and few were not. And still, I'm trying to do my best, and uh, and I feel a lot of responsibility. But now I think I'm enjoying to travel and play all around the world, and I'm really happy. For instance, I played Heroic Polonaise. It feels me really Polish. I don't know how to describe the Polish in words, but I just feel it's really Polish. So many great pianists like Rubinstein or Ignaz Friedman, I could feel the Polish spirit, and I try to convey this spirit to the audience. And it's important to catch the feeling, I think, while we play the Polonaise. Sometimes I got an enormous energy from the audience, and sometimes I feel isolated on the stage. But normally I feel very how can I say? I feel free on the stage and when I perform, and I can speak to the audience very freely on the stage. So, and I feel confident when I'm on the stage.
So, welcome back to Chopin Talk. SEONG-JIN, we just saw the you of almost 6 years ago, 5-6 years ago, speaking and playing after you won the Chopin competition. And yesterday you were there on that very stage to open the new competition for all the new competitors. How was it? How did it feel?
First of all, I was really honored and grateful that I was able to play the opening gala concert, which was postponed. And of course, I was really nervous because of I was overwhelmed by the energy of the hall and the audience. But I really enjoyed working with Andrei Boreyko, and I became nostalgic because I played the Beethoven Third Concerto with the Warsaw Philharmonic in America 5 years ago. So yeah, it was very pleasant memory. Yeah. And please understand that I'm wearing a mask because
Of course.
I started coughing since yesterday, and I'm wearing a mask just in case. But
Just in case. I mean, we live in these particular times, so it's perfectly
I
fine.
got a negative result, so no worries.
So, and you talked about the audience. How is it to be back with this audience? Do they actually recognize you when you go, for example, when you came back after winning the competition? Have you been stopped by people?
Maybe at the airport, they look
At the
at your
airport,
passport.
yes,
In
for
Warsaw?
selfies,
In Warsaw.
yes.
Not anymore.
Not anymore.
Like right after I won the competition, like few people recognized me on the street, so I was very surprised, but not anymore. Maybe in the concert hall, they do because I have to enter
Of course.
in the hall, but not anymore on the street.
I'm curious, so you chose Beethoven Third for the opening concert. Is that, was there a special reason because you played with the Warsaw Philharmonic before, or?
So I was supposed to play one of the Beethoven concerto last year because it was Beethoven anniversary year, and it was just postponed. And I decided to play the third concerto because I feel confident with it because I have a lot of experience before. But thank God I didn't play the Chopin concerto. It must have been so stressful to play the Chopin concerto for the gala concert.
Of course. I mean, you played the Chopin concertos so many times after winning the competitions, but still you say that it's always a little bit like playing a new piece to be again with the Chopin piano concertos. How does it not get old and boring to always go back on the same repertoire?
I think I played the Chopin concerto at least 70 times, E minor concerto, since I won the Chopin competition. And I always try to take an innocent and pure approach rather than too romantic because it was written when Chopin was very young. It's a very romantic piece, but Chopin was, 20 years old. So I always keep that in my mind.
I'm curious because the whole world, including myself, we've been following your career since 6 years ago. And I know that you've made several recordings, and they're very diverse, I feel like. You're not just showing how you play Chopin so beautifully, but I know you had a All Debussy CD that I thought was really gorgeous. You've also recorded some Lieder with a singer. And I was just wondering if you could tell us more about, what goes into your choices in your artistic growth, how you want to explore repertoire, or if you could tell us.
To be honest, I didn't record so many Chopin CD intentionally because I didn't want to be labeled as a Chopin specialist. Of course, to become a Chopin specialist is something very special and will be honored, but there are so many great repertoire out there, and I wanted to explore more about other composers as well. So that's why I decided to record like Mozart, Debussy, and also Schubert. This year I recorded Chopin scherzos and F minor concerto, and I just thought that it's about the time to come back to Chopin.
Enough years has passed since winning the Chopin competition. And why the leader? It's not so common that a big soloist, a great name of the solo repertoire, actually starts recording leader with a singer, with Monsieur Goerne.
It was my first time to collaborate with a singer, actually. And Matthias Goerne proposed me to play with him together, and he also proposed me to record together. And I was really grateful and honored because he is a great musician, and I learned so many things from him.
Do you feel, because we were talking about your several apartments, you've lived in Paris before and now you're based in Berlin. Do you feel, as an artist, your environment influences your music making, the way you think about playing or, art in general? Or maybe for example, you
Unconsciously,
recorded Debussy and now you're
yeah.
recording Schubert, German music, so...
Maybe unconsciously, but yeah, I think when I was in Paris, I was able to feel this very peculiar French atmosphere so well. So maybe that helps me to interpret French repertoire, but maybe unconsciously. But Berlin is very international city, and there's so much diversity. So I don't think it's very typical German city. So I feel very home when I'm in Berlin because I don't feel like I'm a foreigner. Very international. So I'm not sure that living in Berlin will help me to understand German repertoire, but yeah, I love living in Berlin.
And it feels like home, which is
Yes.
very important. Yeah. And you told us before that you are actually leaving right after this to go to the airport,
Right.
right?
Yes.
Where are you headed off to?
I'm going back to Berlin first, and I'm flying out to LA on the 7th. Yeah, last time I was in America was right before the pandemic, so it's been a while.
Yeah. And what are you going to do in LA?
I'll be playing with the LA Philharmonic and Maestro Dudamel for the opening gala of the LA Philharmonic Orchestra.
Oh, that's wonderful.
And are you also doing like an American tour or just going back home?
I'm going there just for one concert.
Just for one concert.
Yes.
So I have a little bit off-topic question. You're so busy traveling, thinking about music, studying music and performing for us audiences, and we're very fortunate to have you. If you could switch professions for one day, if you could be in somebody else's shoes, is there a dream, I don't know, person or figure you could try to be?
I was asked this question many times, but I thought about it, and I like my job, pianist, and because I like traveling, and I simply like playing the piano and for the audiences. But if I had to choose another job, I think can be a doctor, because I just want to do something very meaningful. Doctor can save or change people's life, so I think that's very meaningful.
That's very beautiful.
Yeah, definitely, definitely.
But it's hard to become a doctor, so.
Okay, that's why. Well, also music, we learn it can really change life. So that's also something we can do just by playing the instrument, happily. And I really wanted to ask you, is there a project in the future, since the pandemic has canceled a lot of projects and just postponed them in the future, is there something that you're really looking forward to do, to travel, a concert, a specific repertoire you want to do, an artist you really want to work with in the future?
I'm very excited and grateful that the concert, they're happening again. And I miss traveling, so I just wish that I can travel like what I did in the past. And yeah, of course there are some project recording and the concert, and I like to concentrate on different music like Baroque music, which I haven't done so much yet. So yeah, that is my project for next 2 years.
Wow.
Fantastic.
That's really exciting.
Yeah.
We look forward to your Baroque music. Let's see. Another, okay, non-musical question if I can.
Go on.
Let's say you could have a dinner party and you could invite guests from any time, any place. Who would be at your table?
Wow. Well, maybe maybe Richter.
Whoa,
Yes.
Richter.
Why?
I just like him as a musician and just wanted to talk to him.
And his culture and his
Yes.
look on the world, of course.
I think he was a very special person, but unfortunately he passed away. So,
Yeah.
but of course it can be like Mozart and Beethoven, but I'd rather having a dinner with maybe pianist like who passed away, like Edwin Fischer or Cortot.
Of course.
Yeah, well, definitely.
Actually, I was curious because I read somewhere that when you were young, now maybe not so much, but when you were young, if you liked the performance or the recording, that you would try to emulate and play like the person that you were listening to. Who were some of those performers or
So,
pieces?
These days I don't do that anymore,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
when I was a child, Christian Zimmermann was my idol since I was a child. So I liked the sound of his, so I tried to like imitate his like rubato and everything, and of course I failed because I'm just an ordinary person and he was a great musician. But it can be very helpful, but at the same time, I think it can be very dangerous to imitate someone. Yeah.
Yeah, actually, that ties into another question. Because I also read that you knew Zimmerman from before when you competed 6 years ago. That he had come to one of your concerts, and then actually during the competition, he emailed you.
That was after the competition.
Oh, after the competition,
Yes.
excuse me. But I read that you had a really emotional reaction when he reached out to you.
Yeah.
And this is.
So,
Could you explain that?
So he wrote me after the final round, and I almost cried because I couldn't believe my eyes because my idol just wrote me, and I was so overwhelmed, and then in November, like 1 month later after the competition, he came to my recital in Japan, and I didn't know that he would come, and I didn't know that he was there, but he just like came to the backstage to say hi, and I was like surprised and shocked, and I was like, oh, did I play okay? Like, so and then we had such a great time. We had dinner and we talked about music and many things.
It's fantastic. So
That-
thank
that
you a
sounds
lot for
beautiful.
being our guest today at the first Chopin Talk, and not only to open the Chopin competition, but also this specific format of ours. So thank you, really.
Thank you so much,
Thank you for having
Sungjin.
me.
Thank you.